Welcome to the Fly Lab. Today's pattern is going to be an egg pattern, and this is a pattern that was described to me by Mickey at Fish Tech, and I've modified it and adapted it for a Euro nymph hook. So I've got it on a Hannock jig hook. That's a size 12 with a about a 3.8 millimeter bead, and that's an orange bead. And so the way this fly will work is you'll need to get some of this McCheese foam stuff and then some orange ice stub. That's like an orange UV ice stub. And so you're going to get a piece of straw, just chop the straw to roughly, something like that, whatever. And then you just you roll the ice stub into a little noodle, and then you just put the two together. You take a chunk of this egg material, and then you just roll the ice stub into a noodle, put it in there, and then just put it in this straw. And I'll usually use like I've got this CNF whip finish tool, and it's just, it works great for just getting this stuff in here. And so you just get that in there, just shove it all in and keep working it till you get it in there. It'll pop out the other end, and then I usually just, push some of it out and then just chop it so it's kind of a clean start. So I'll cut it like right there is good, like that. And then you are ready to tie some eggs. So we will start by making a little thread dam behind this bead. I've been using Hannock beads more than these hairline beads because they have these slotted tungsten beads. On the Hannock, they've got like a nice tiny little slot behind the bead, so it's just easier to lock the bead up to the eye of the hook. You don't have to, use a metric ton of thread to get it done like you do with these hairline beads. I'm going to sit here and put a ton of thread on there just to get this thing to lock in. So it's kind of a pain. Alright, so a long time later, we will get this bead locked in. I guess another way to lock it in is just to use maybe some lead wrap, and that would do it too. But I think the bead, when you use it, so this is like a 3.8 millimeter bead. It's a size 12 hook, so that size bead seems to work well, nice and heavy. Okay, so for the tail of this fly, this has like a little emerging egg look to it. So I'm just going to use, in this case, I'm going to use you can use tinsel. I've got some Vivus pearl. It's kind of a little bit of a see-through, so you can kind of see through it, but kind of has this nice shimmer in the water. I don't know, I kind of like it, but tinsel works great too. So I'm just going to make a little tail off the end of this. Wrap that back over it a bit, lock it in. This thread's kind of shredding on me as I use it, so we'll just get rid of these little stragglers here. Okay, and then we're gonna just trim that so the piece isn't in the way. So, and the tail, I kind of make it about that long. That might actually be a little bit longer than I want to go, so something like that will work. Okay, for the next step, we're going to add some of the egg material. So to apply this, we're just going to overlap the straw over the hook. We're going to wrap twice around the straw and then pull up here so that we're ready, and then we're just going to slide the straw back, and it's going to capture that first part. Now, if you want a smaller egg pattern, just don't let as much of the egg material out. You can go really tiny, you can go bigger. You'll get a feel for it once you tie a few, but kind of hold some pressure there, not too tight, just enough that you can pull it back, and then grab that, and then you're going to wrap back through a couple of times. We're going to go maybe do kind of a little figure 8 deal around this. Maybe go one more around the middle here. Okay, and lock that in with a couple of wraps, and then we're going to pull back on the straw and just let out enough that you can see it, and then trim it. And we're just going to trim the back of this like that, so we make it nice and even. And that pretty much gets us to where we can whip finish. And you get just this wonderful little egg pattern. It's easy to tie, it's quick, it's kind of like a nice guide fly. So we'll just do a couple more wraps around here and then do our whip finish. So I guess this could be like a guide's egg pattern. I don't know. Who knows what a guide fly is anyway, right? Quick and easy to tie, and you don't care if you lose it. Maybe that's a guide fly. And these are so quick to tie that, you know, I'm not going to cry if I lose one. So good enough. And so this egg pattern has just worked fantastically for me. I've watched fish literally chase this down the river, going after it and slashing at it. They just hammer it. So depending on the time of year, sometimes they're more into it than others. Sometimes they won't touch it. So it just depends, but it's definitely, when they're hitting eggs, this is my go-to egg pattern. Sinks like a rock because of the bead on there. So with that tungsten bead, it fishes great. I'll usually run this at the anchor, you know, the very bottom, and then I'll have a tag up further. And on the tag, I'll have like a little midge nymph during the winter, and, you know, like a little zebra midge or whatever. So thanks for watching. Give some of these a try and let me know how they do. Thanks.